The soldiers under General Patton's Third Army, which liberated 211,000 square kilometers and 12,000 villages, set an unprecedented record in the history of war. It was General George S. Patton, described as an extremely fastidious general, very strict with soldiers and swearing. General Patton did not receive the support of the American press at that time, but he left glorious victories, military records that no one has broken. Having been present in France since World War I, General Patton is known as the first American to know how to drive a tank. During World War I, he was also commander of the cavalry, after which he developed the American tank theory. In 1940, Patton believed that cavalry would soon be replaced by tanks and armored vehicles on the battlefield. So he worked hard to develop the armored force, trained the first tankers, and devised the first American tank combat tactics. An extremely arrogant and war-hungry man, Patton almost jumped to the news of the United States' participation in World War II. In his eyes, only war-did military commanders like Patton quickly achieved success. This general, dyslexic and very ignorant at school, joined the Third Army to attack France after the US opened the Second Front and attacked a Nazi den. His tactics could be considered a copy of the German light warfare tactic used to attack Poland in 1939. However, Patton took this tactic to a new level with extremely good speed and logistic capabilities of the richest army in the world. The strategy of General Patton and the Third Army was very simple, using powerful tank divisions hitting the enemy's lines. At the same time, put pressure on enemy's backlines, forcing the front line units to retreat due to the lack of logistics or down morale. Meanwhile, Patton's infantry simply overflowed, filling the battle space that the enemy left. It sounded quite simpler, but at the time, with his strong logistic capabilities, General Patton had spared the vanguards of tanks, messing with the enemy for a week, causing tremendous damage to the enemy. Early during the operation from the Rhine to Elbe, Patton's Third Army had only 300,000 soldiers, captured 84,000 square kilometers of Nazi territory. Their damage was also record low, only about 10,000 casualties, but caused 70,000 casualties to Germany, capturing 650,000 enemies. By the end of World War II, the Third Army, under Patton's command, had liberated 211,000 square kilometers in 281 days of combat, liberating 12,000 towns and villages, crossing 24 major rivers in Europe. General Patton's Third Army also captured, destroyed, or removed from the battlefield 1.8 million German soldiers, 3 times the number of this force. Those were unprecedented records in the history of the war. Excluding logistics, transportation, and ambulance units, each Patton soldier liberated and held on to a square kilometer for nearly a year, an unprecedented combat performance. Unfortunately, this war-hungry general had a rather sad ending after World War II ended. Patton himself affirmed that the biggest enemy of America after defeating the Nazis was the Soviets. He argued that the US should immediately attack the Soviet Union in order to maintain America's world hegemony, instead of having to share the dominant power of the world with Moscow. By this point, the legendary General Patton had become a thorn in the eyes of the American leadership because he prevented Washington from developing good relations with the Soviet ally. General Patton's life ended not long after that. He died in a traffic accident. Ironically, a general who fought across North Africa and Europe, commanding thousands of tanks, crushing enemies, finally died in a car accident. My video about George S. Patton, the US legendary general, led 300,000 soldiers to liberate 200,000 square kilometers NCR. Thank you for watching. If you find this video interesting, please give me your thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to support the channel. Goodbye and see you again in the next videos.